course, we are What It Do, Snackers, Snack X's. It's your boy Gage. This is in the building. Sin is in the building. Say what's up, gentlemen.
Yo,
Was that in
yo.
there?
Yep, that's basically what's up.
Mm-hmm.
You are now officially tuned in to Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And today,
Today.
Today,
the chat is already live, y'all. What is up to everybody in the chat? Who's there? Alfonso, J. Roberts, Marcus, Perp. I see y'all. Ty, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. We are going to talk a little bit about a couple of things that happened at NYCC digital over the weekend. We're gonna talk about Doctor Strange, Spider-Man 3. We're gonna talk about AMC running out of money. There's a lot popping.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's start with the Invincible trailer. Did both of you see the trailer for Robert Kirkman's Invincible?
yes.
Yeah. What did you think?
Pretty interesting.
Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
granted, you get kind of the typical superhero vibes, but at the same time, there's a difference between like this and like trying to watch like Superman or something like that if you want to watch it. But I'm intrigued now. I'm not familiar with the comic. I know the comic has been around for a very long time. I never read it, but I'm intrigued by what I saw in the preview though.
I am extremely looking forward to this. It's one of those comics I've been dying to read for years. I actually have them all digitally, just haven't had the time to sit down and actually go through them and read them. So the fact that now that they're bringing out in a animated form, like I'm all aboard with it. I'm dying to check it out the day it drops.
You mean to tell me you've been stuck at home in the middle of a pandemic since like February and you haven't had time to read your digital comics?
Yes, because sorry, but playing games and anime come before reading comics.
Well,
So
I mean, sir, you do have to go to the throne
Another
every
thing.
now and then. So I mean, you can take your tablet when you go to the throne and read.
I mean, hey, I can also watch anime. So,
All right.
it is what it is.
I'm not I don't I don't really know much about the comic itself.
Mhm.
Haven't dug into it at all. The trailer is intriguing enough to get me to watch probably the first 2 episodes. Give it a 2 episode attempt.
Okay.
Because you know, because bleeding. because
Yeah,
you know,
it's
because it
pretty
gets a little
brutal.
raw.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's a very brutal comic. So I expect the show to mirror that.
Like the boys, which has clearly worked well
Yeah. Yes.
for Amazon.
Yes.
I mean, I think this is a perfect match for Amazon Prime and what they have been doing, what they've been, what they've established.
Agreed.
So,
Hmm.
I'm with it, 100%. I'm with it.
I'm
We gotta
with
wait till next year, but
you.
you know,
Yeah. It's plenty to watch until then.
you can say that again, sir. Um, let's talk about Fat Man. Did you see the trailer for Fat Man?
No, I've not seen the trailer for Fat Man.
Oh my god.
I've
You ain't see the trailer?
I've seen
Bro.
it but I've not clicked on it to
Oh.
You have.
Mel Gibson as Santa.
You saw the thumbnail.
And I just went past it like this is one thing looking at like, should I? Like, do I really care that much? Like,
Yes.
Yeah, I said the
Okay.
same thing, but I pushed myself to watch it, and I'm happy I pushed myself to watch the trailer.
I mean, I'll admit, I ignored it probably the first 3 times I saw it. Like, saw it go by. And then I saw what it was supposed to be about, and I was like, let me just see. And not that I have like an affinity for Mel Gibson in any way. Like, Lethal Weapon's cool. whatever. I think he's a lunatic or something. Whatever. But this joint is interesting. Like the idea of someone not being the first person that's a hitman trying to kill Santa Claus. First of all, Mel Gibson is Santa Claus already.
Already is. I didn't know what to expect when I read the synopsis. It just said Mel Gibson as Santa Claus. I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was like, okay, I have to watch this now.
I mean, listen. It could be terrible. It has every potential to be terrible. However,
I'm gonna watch this train wreck
still
if
looks
it is.
thoroughly enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? Like thoroughly enjoyable. Like I don't know how. Like look. You give a kid some coal. My man's just like, "Oh, you dead, fat man. I'm on this, bro. We about to do this for real." Whose idea is this? I kind of feel like I need to see this. Like, regardless, I almost don't care how it reviews. I don't care how bad they talk about it. I feel like this is necessary viewing. Absolutely, look at Sin. Look at him. Watching the trailer. Look at him.
I love how he thinks he's trying to sneak and watch something or look at something.
I just threw it on. Like, all right, let me just see this, and let me tell you something. I will be watching this on Christmas Day.
Good or bad?
I will be watching this and laughing my ass off the entire time.
You think you're gonna be like, well, see, this is one of those that we don't quite know just yet, but
I know enough to know that I will be laughing my ass off for the entirety of this movie.
This appears so corny, yet so satisfying. Jay Roberts, I totally understand.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
I ain't say, I said I'm gonna watch it. I ain't say I'm putting money in this pocket.
Okay, there we go. Hey, listen, I was trying to figure out the best way to word that.
I will see it, but
yeah. Listen, I think it's funny too. I have I don't know, man. Like it feels like one of those, I don't know, kind of movies that would have only gotten made in like the late 80s. You know what I mean? That just like I have a certain amount of nostalgia for. Like it's just the kind of thing that like, why is this happening? Oh, okay, got it. It feels like a straight to Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it has straight to Suncoast Video written all over it.
USA.
This is the joke. You just walk in the Blockbuster and be like, "What?" Look at that on the shelf.
That's on the new shelf, and you just see it there. Yo, anyone heard of this? Like this ain't coming out in the theater. What is this? Blockbuster exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearly, it's an issue. I don't know if this joint is going to be good at all. As a matter of fact, I'm expecting it not to be.
Nope, but it's going to be entertaining.
I have every intention of viewing it with all my heart.
You know what I'm saying? Get a nice warm alcoholic beverage. Sit back and just let it happen.
Let it go.
Go to Crush. Go to Crush. Listen, that's enough talking about Mel Gibson. Talk about Benedict Cumberbatch for a minute. Who's a phenomenal actor.
Yes, sir.
So the rumors became apparently fact last week that Cumberbatch will be reprising his role as Doctor Strange in whatever the third Spider-Man film with Tom Holland is going to be called. Spider-Verse. it's got to have some kind of play on home.
Home.
Like,
I was about to say
gotta be
home verse. You gotta
yeah.
have the word home in there somewhere.
Yeah.
yeah, it has to be in there. So I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but welcome home again or something. Who knows?
Away from home.
Yeah,
Far
yeah.
away from home. Going to these multiverses.
Yeah, I mean, look, there is no doubt in my mind that when you're already doing Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness,
Talk about it.
you're already adding Wanda, and you've decided that you're bringing Jamie the Blue Fox back as Electro, which I almost threw up when that happened. Clearly, we got to be doing Spider-Verse in some way, shape, or form.
Correct.
We got to be doing Spider-Verse. It would not surprise me if in some way animated Miles Morales or animated versions of 40-year-old Peter show up. They'd already talked about how initially in the plans for Spider-Verse and animated film, they were supposed to have Tobey and Andrew reprise their roles. It would shock me if at least one of the two of them isn't involved in this in some way, shape, or form.
If they get all three of them, that would just be.
Oh man, that moment.
Perfect.
I mean, it could be overdone.
It could be, but I trust Marvel and what they've done. What they've done so far. Like we say, like how they handled Civil War, bringing all those people in, and it's still feeling like a Captain America movie. Like,
we've seen a Marvel movie, sir. This is not a Marvel movie, sir.
All I'm saying is we've seen that it can be done. That's all.
Yeah, but saying it can be done didn't help Justice League at all.
That's a whole nother. No,
it's not.
No, we not.
No, it's not. All it did was show you how bad it was that they didn't do what we knew could already be done. I'm just saying. Like,
I don't think we're gonna have that problem here. I really don't.
I don't think so.
I mean, here's where I'm at. They need to get Spider-Gwen. She's important to. She's such a huge character. Miles has become so ingrained in public view that this is an opportunity for them to really lean into showing some of those other characters and possibly doing spinoffs because Tom's time is up.
Yeah.
Unless he re-signs something. Right now, it's just this movie and one more
team whatever.
Team up. But clearly they're not ready to let the franchise go. It would not surprise me if whoever face they decided to make the face of the updated version of the PlayStation 5 Spider-Man game somehow is tied into this somewhere. The only reason why it makes sense for them to even change his face. Like, otherwise, that was just a dumb thing to do.
Right.
It would be... I would almost rather see Kirsten Dunst's Mary Jane show up than Toby. I would kind of be okay with that.
Really?
He didn't. Yep. Because you just need acknowledgement that those other... All you're really doing is acknowledging that those films exist and that they didn't go away just because they changed the Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? All you're really doing is making those other films canon for everything else that already happened. That's all you're really doing. And Sony's leaning towards this whole villain thing. Whatever it is they're going to do with Venom, like, sort of leave that out of this, please. And I mean, I guess whatever they want to do with the Sinister Six.
Oh yeah, that's foreign. We're starting to see that take a little shape.
And will there be anything to do with the Morbius, Jared Leto thing in this? Possibly. You know what I mean? So it's just like there's so much going on, and what the other thing that this allows them to do is to kind of take those other properties and not have to directly tie them into the current version of Spider-Man. They don't have to tie it to Tom. It doesn't have to be MCU specifically related. Just by doing something that allows them to say the Spider-Verse is a real thing and all these other planes exist could give you a Morbius or a Venom in a place where, let's be real, even if you like the Venom film, you can't really have Venom if he never meets Spider-Man. That's just not how that works. But if you say it's from another universe or whatever it is, all right, sure. You know what I mean? Spider-Man doesn't even exist in that world. He doesn't have to. So you can say that.
Which also makes it easy for the time where if the MCU does decide they want to add in Venom, they can still add in their own Venom because you understand the multiverse by that point.
Exactly. I mean, listen, I'm not going to lie. First of all, J. Robert, Dunst would be amazing. Don't do that. Second of all, yeah, Tobey Maguire being 50 and strapping the suit on, I'm with it. 100%. Need it, but I'm with it. I'm with it 100%. Madam Web would definitely be dope, but might be too much. I almost feel like they may end up leaning into Doctor Strange to sort of play that role.
That bridge and kind of.
Yeah,
I get
they're
it.
talking about him being a mentor for Peter, which I don't like.
Just trying to replace Iron Man, Tony Stark. Like he doesn't need to go through that phase again. I think he did what he needed to with Tony. You know, Tony gave him, a little bit of direction and everything. It's still the same time you got to become your own person when it comes time for this. I don't mind Doctor Strange throwing in a little tidbit, but I don't need him to try to fully take him under his wing. Like I don't need to start seeing Magic Spider-Man just yet. I don't know, because it seems like the mentor always passes on something to the mentee, but I don't know.
I was gonna say how it goes.
I'd be angry if he gives him some sort of a magic attitude. I'm like, please don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, here's the thing. As much as I've enjoyed the new Spider-Man films with Tom, probably my biggest gripe is that they've made him way too dependent on Tony Stark and made him like. The thing that stands out about the other films is like, yeah, I did it when Uncle Ben dies. He doesn't have anybody to be that person that he has to take the lessons that he got from Uncle Ben and use them going forward and figure things out on his own. And I feel like while they have shown that he's very smart, it degrades some of what his decision-making abilities are and so forth when it seems like he consistently relies on somebody else's tech, somebody else's ideals, or somebody else to lead him. And it was kind of cool in the first movie to kind of get that boost, because with the other two films, it's almost as if no other superheroes exist and Spider-Man is the only superhero at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're doing it and you're tying it into the MCU, you do want to give credence to the fact that there are other superheroes and there might be somebody else that he could rely on possibly. You know what I mean? That's cool, but if anything, I would rather have Doctor Strange maybe be able to explain things about the multiverse that Peter can look at from a scientific standpoint, but not necessarily from a magical standpoint. You know what I'm saying?
I dig that.
And kind of figure that out.
I dig that.
You know what? He wouldn't be a high school graduate yet, Tony, because the first two movies and Endgame basically take place within like a year's time. Because if I recall, in the first movie, he's in like 10th grade. And that entire movie is only within like the first month of school because he goes to homecoming at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's like September, August to October. You know what I mean? For homecoming. And then she moves, I guess, at the end of the movie. So I guess there's a time jump. And then you do have a 5-year time period where people disappear.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the ones who disappeared. So technically, you know what I mean? You see him come back, he's still in high school. You know what I mean? You had that jump where you saw people that were like 9th graders that are now,
Right.
Out the box. So, if anything, this has to be like, Far From Home had to be like the summer after 10th grade, summer between
That sounds about right.
10th and 11th grade at 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 most. You know what I mean? Like he went to what, Germany during yeah, that was before, yeah, that was like summer. So yeah, so he at most he's a senior. He's a high school senior. And again, I understand him being young. Still,
They probably won't even focus on none of that with this third one because he got outed. They'll probably going to focus on him being on the run, trying to somehow get out of the mess that Mysterio threw him in.
right. And
School's irrelevant.
realistically,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that they would show him graduate, you know what I mean, or anything like that. But again, now you're in this place where you're going to be able to introduce all these other Spider-Men to throw off that whole J. Jonah Jameson theory, and you'll see multiple Spider-Men somewhere probably all at one time just for the sake of being able to save him from whatever that was.
True.
You know what I mean?
The big end action sequence.
That's gonna be funny. That's gonna, that would be a very funny scene. Is Spider-Man
Scene.
swings into Jake Jonah's office, and, takes off his mask and shows. He's like, "Hey, you're not Parker," and then it's like, "Yeah, I'm not," and you'll never know who I am at this point. And just swing away.
Or he looks out the window and see like 8 Spider-Men swinging around trying to save something. He's pissed off. Why are there so many Spider-Men?
Give me a picture of one of these Spider-Men, somebody.
Straight up. And that could be how Pete gets a job taking pictures of Spider-Man. Because he can be in the same room. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I can get you that picture. I can get you that picture.
That's my man. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Like, who knows, man? Yes. Them doing the Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other.
You know that's going to be in there if that happens. It's just like the Juggernaut. Like
I'm just going to say that.
It's just like the Juggernaut. I didn't expect the Juggernaut to show up in the movie, and it did. This is going to be the exact same thing.
So here's the thing. Do they, like we've been talking about them using WandaVision or multiverse to introduce mutants or whatever. Could this happen in Spider-Man 3?
I think there's a good
instead
chance.
of in one of those films.
It could. Like it's
possible.
It's at the point now they can honestly throw it whichever the way. They have literally 3 or 4 different opportunities that they can shell it out. And maybe they do it in pieces. Maybe, there's a hint. Like, say, WandaVision comes along. Maybe we get a subtle hint. Spider-Man movie comes along. Maybe there's some other hint. And then maybe one of the other MCU movies just ends up just blowing it out of proportion and setting up something bigger. But
like it could be like a build up to like whatever the next Avengers is, and that kind of just cracks it all open to like everything we've been talking about, mutants, multiverse, like all that kind of
mutants
stuff.
could come forward and be
to just have a scroll that is Spider-Man. You know what I mean? It's just like
Spider-Scroll.
Be a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, could totally be a thing. I just don't want them to lean too. My biggest concern is them leaning too heavily into Doctor Strange, like really being a mentor for him, because he
honestly, I don't even think,
almost don't know what he's doing yet either.
Yeah,
honestly, you know what I mean?
I don't think Strange is gonna want to do it. I think he's gonna be like, whoa, like look, I'm not Tony, so I'll just make sure you won't get killed. But
like he might need Doctor Strange's help to do something, like his help specifically. You know what I mean? He reluctantly, kind of helps him with it, and that's how they get teamed up together.
If you're doing something like this and you're talking about the possibility of a multiverse, and we know that Electro is going to be in there somewhere, who is the big bad? Who is the enemy?
Maybe I'm guessing it's going to be multiple.
Well, we left Matt Gargan on the table. At the end of the first movie, Shocker's still around from the end of the first movie. So technically, I mean, and Miles' uncle exists in this universe already, even though Miles is still a child, like a very young child. So there could be any number of villains. We could get a Kingpin.
That would be a very interesting. It seems.
I would like to see a Kraven. So fingers crossed that I get to see a Kraven.
Yeah,
but he's right.
A Hobgoblin, and you're right. And Kraven could absolutely be thing, but I just don't know how that would tie in specifically to the multiverse. But again, if you're trying to prep something to talk about the Sinister Six or use something to introduce some of these other characters, you could do it that way. I could certainly see if, Kingpin would seem like Spider-Man might be too hot. Like Kingpin's doing things that are like Spider-Man's not in the way enough
just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he comes across something that brings that name up, Kingpin, and he just doesn't know who it is per se just yet. So becomes something maybe he'll eventually look into, but he doesn't build up to that just yet.
Well, if they offer enough money for Spider-Man's head, given what happened, you know what I mean? What happened, then any number of players could show up, again, including a Kraven. Like, I'll hunt Slim down.
Yeah, I'll get that bread, take his head as a trophy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, but he doesn't really do, he does that for the sport. Yep. He doesn't do it for the money. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be real interesting to see what they do and how, once you start getting into multiverse, like how far flung it's going to end up being. You know what I mean? Because, the other thing about Spider-Man is that so much of what makes him great is him being grounded in things that are happening.
True.
And so when you introduce the multiverse, unless you're bringing other spider people into New York as well, or something along those lines, putting him back in space or whatever, is, again, as Nick Fury put it, that wasn't really Nick Fury, bitch, you in space.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we can do some things. Hey, listen, if they do a John Wick and just have everybody go after Spider-Man, that would be perfect. Because that is, for me, that is one of the things that makes Spider-Man shine, is that he's always thrived when he's dealing with multiple villains, which is why the Sinister Six is such a big deal.
I can get behind that, having everybody just pursue him. And maybe that's why he, like I said, reaching out to people he know, like, look, I need help. I need to get off the radar. I need some backup, all that kind of stuff. Avengers are busy. You ain't busy. Help me out, Doctor Strange.
Yeah, like maybe the like someone brought up the Madam Web thing. Maybe somehow in this, maybe Doctor Strange is that link per se to Madam Web. Maybe not necessarily she ends up not being like this random mystic type thing, but he knows her. She has spider-like powers or something. I don't know. There's going to be some type of connection that would make the two of them go together. And then that may be that bridge that we see. And then maybe she starts, at that point, become like, say, I don't want to say a mentor, but that annoying person that just yanks him out of space and time just to have a quick comment. Hey, don't you do that. And just throw you back over there.
Right. You messing things up. Yeah. I mean, it would be cool to have him meet a Gwen Stacy that's not dead.
Mm-hmm.
Could be cool. You know what I mean? Or something along those lines. Anyway, look. Let's talk about AMC. Oh, movie theaters. Whatever are we going to do? It is looking worse and worse.
Yeah.
So AMC announced earlier this week that it looks like they are going to be completely out of cash by the end of this year, possibly early next year. We've been talking about this for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They're citing, attendance is down like 85%, which
rightfully that's understandable.
Yeah.
So there were only supposed to be like 4 major releases left for this year. Soul's not one of them anymore.
Nope.
We'll talk about that in a moment.
Christmas Day Disney.
I don't know, man. What do they need to do? Is there anything they can do?
I don't think there's anything that they can do within the time they have left on their own. Somebody would have to come in and bail them out.
Yeah, as far as like
it might be the only way out of it.
Have someone bail them out, but like the only thing somehow if they could maybe partner with some of these the theater production houses, like I kind of said this the last time. And somehow take some of these movies and put, like, say, on AMC, like, they get an actual AMC Movies app that you can download. And some of these movies, you pay that premium price to get in, and you watch it directly through there. Now, granted, obviously, we know they don't make their money through necessarily movie tickets. They get it through their concessions. But we did come up with that idea of like their Loot Crate box. Hey, you're gonna pay this $30. Here's popcorn, drink, whatever it is. We're gonna send it out to you. Like there's really gonna be thinking outside of the box at this point, because outside effect, just like Sin said, someone coming along and be like an Amazon or someone that's got that money that can just say, look, here's X, Y, and Z amount of money to get you guys going. But hey, we got to do these particular things to show that this agreement is going to work between us, because we don't want to just give you this money for you guys to just try to come back, because we still it's an uncertainty of what things are going to look like once the new year hits anyway. So we don't know if we're still be in a position where we can try to put movies back in the theater full force. People probably still won't come out, but it has to be the thinking outside of the box at this point, like, because the typical thing is just it's not going to work.
If somebody comes in to save them and help buy them out and get them back, they're going to have to, like, look, we're going to give you all the money, keep us afloat. We're partners in this or whatever, but here's the things that we got to do going forward. Like you said, Jokes, digital, like, that's the thing now. We don't know when people are coming back outside to go to theaters. It's a whole thing. They're going to have to sit down with AMC and say, look, people aren't coming out. We need to transition into, what's the thing you said last week? Like that barbershop, like, free model. We need to take that and make that experience at home for people kind of deal. Like, stuff like that they're going to have to do. That's the only way they're going to get out of this.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think clearly they're going to have to sell off properties.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine if they have ownership over, you know, some of the standees and props and things like that, they could certainly auction some stuff off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To put some money back in the pot, people would, I think, would do it. But, you know, a lot of times that kind of stuff goes right back. That stuff gets destroyed, or like Disney claims all that stuff back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When they send those big standees and stuff like that,
Send that back.
90% of those things Disney wants back. Like, they require you to send it back to them. So I don't know that can happen. Could I see Amazon doing some form of a bailout? Not really. I mean, they have the money to do it? Yes.
Mm.
Can I see them buying AMC's properties and turning them into warehouses? Absolutely. But do I see them buying those properties and keeping them as theaters? Not really. Maybe a couple. You know, if you buy a Cineplex and turn half of it into an Amazon warehouse and keep 6 theaters and run some of your own stuff in there, you know what I mean, or something like that, just on a limited run or a limited basis, but you're still able to make money on the property because you're using it. You know, people are coming and picking up, you know, their purchases or something like that.
I can see them taking some of those, like those 6 or so theaters and trying to maybe let's reformat one somewhere, whatever, to like our style of movie theater. What we would do, make it automated. You know what I'm saying? Go with COVID guidelines and restrictions and see if that's something that would possibly work. I can see them experiment with something like that to see if it would work. If they were to buy it.
Maybe like 2 theaters.
Yeah, that's like 1 or 2, like just to as a test, just to try it out.
See how it goes.
That ain't gonna save AMC.
Mm-mm.
I don't know, it's gonna save AMC.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not gonna save them. Yeah, I mean, look, Fandango and Vudu, you know what? It surprises me that Vudu's even still around. Vudu's been passed around by so many other companies that own Vudu that
Hot potato.
Yeah, there's be honest, man, I know that they got a decent amount of subscribers, but I don't really know how long they're gonna be around, because there are so many other options, and so many of the other options seem like better options than what Vudu has. And I don't know that Vudu has or is making enough money to be able to compete in a landscape where exclusivity is the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have to see. Yeah, you're right, Tony. They sold Coming to America 2 to Amazon.
Yeah.
Because Amazon can afford to take the loss. They make enough money that they can afford to take the loss and believe that joint will be digital.
Yeah, they
Doesn't
say.
ever have to come.
Yeah, according to them, it's supposed to drop in December. Like I thought that was well soon than what that was at, but apparently December is going to end up possibly being that release date for it. So that'd be a good time to drop it anyway. Like that, get right before Christmas, and then watch that during Christmas. That'd be a cool, opportune moment to do it. But
Yeah, listen, I would not purchase a theater even if I had the money right now. What in the world?
unless you turn it into something else,
I
want
know
that
that
building.
Voodoo was owned by Walmart. What I'm saying is that Voodoo has been passed around for so long and doesn't really get a lot of play. And while Walmart secretly has hella data centers that a lot of people don't realize they have, as much money as Walmart has, they're not playing in Amazon's playhouse, technically. And Walmart, so they do a lot of exclusive deals for what gets sold in stores. They don't seem to do a very good job of locking down exclusivity when it comes to streaming and that kind of a thing. And right now, Walmart has a lot of money tied into trying to turn their current locations into video game
Esports and
streaming,
everything.
tournament, esports locations, which again, how are you supposed to do esports
Right now, with the way things are.
anytime when right now COVID is a factor?
Yep.
They got money that's tied up in that. Not that Walmart is in financial trouble or is going away, but it doesn't mean that Voodoo is doing enough for them that it's worth it for them to keep it.
And
In
pass
the
it on to
same
someone
way
else.
that it's not worth it. AT&T got tons of bread. Why are they still trying to get rid of WB? Because it's costing them money, not making them money. And so it's kind of the same thing. Voodoo is okay. But if you ask 90%, if you ask 100 people what streaming services they have, what percentage would you say are gonna say Voodoo, or even gonna bring Voodoo up?
Voodoo would just be one of just like you said. Someone gonna say Voodoo is like, man, that's still around. Like, because I think a lot of people still don't even realize that Voodoo is really even a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know that that's gonna work. I mean, yeah, My Name is Dolomite did well. I mean, a lot of stuff does well streaming wise. I guess really the point is it doesn't help theaters.
Right.
So if as a theater owner, if you don't have some other solution, I mean, look, Disney decided that they're going to put Soul out digitally. It was supposed to come out November 20th. Coming out digitally on Christmas Day, which is straight up slap. Like, what's up, Warner Brothers? Y'all still putting out Wonder Woman on Christmas?
Yeah.
I don't see it happening.
They're not at all. It will be coming out 2021 like everything else.
I say second week of
And if
November.
they come out and announce Wonder Woman's not coming out this year, that in and of itself more or less puts the coffin in theaters. Because there's nothing else left.
No, it's just that.
And if they do it,
and I bet they behind the scenes begging right now. Begging.
Even begging, it's not.
Please, baby, please, baby. Please.
What kind of bargaining chips do you have if you're AMC to get Warner Brothers to spend the money, put out? Warner Brothers already took the hit on Tenet. It's a wrap. Tenet did zilch. The only way they're recouping any of what that movie was is to go ahead and drop it digitally. And it's better for them to do it sooner than later. Because it didn't even review all that well for what it was.
Yeah.
And I'm a Nolan fan. Except for the Batman movies. So, not that they're bad movies. They're just not great Batman movies. Here's the thing. J. Roberts, all movies have that. All movies have a clause that says that they have to be in theaters for a certain period of time before they can go digital, before they can be available. Usually it's like 3 months. That's a normal thing, which is why
this is like the way it is.
Yeah, when they came out and said, all right, well, since Trolls did so well, that's how we're going to do it from now on, or we're going to start putting stuff out in the theaters and in out of digital at the same time. And the theater's like, we'll never play your movies again. Shut up. You don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Your bargaining chip don't exist anymore. You don't have a
Right.
That's a wrap. You know what I mean? So I said the Batman movies aren't. Wait, do you mean all Batman movies aren't good movies?
I saw that. Like,
What are you trying to do right here?
you know what he's trying to do?
He's doing.
He's doing what he always
pot.
does.
Stirring the
That's
pot.
right. He just gets started.
Gage, you put the pot on, and my man's just over here just trying to stir it.
Stirring the pot.
All he does.
That's real. Yeah, I mean, look. If I had to guess, I'd say by summer next year we won't have theaters anymore.
And it's starting to look like that.
Where it's going, yeah.
I mean, maybe a couple, like some smaller theaters that are
smaller
able to kind
theaters.
of pull off
Yeah.
certain things. But even then, how do you make money? Because like if you're AMC, if you're begging Warner Brothers right now, if you're talking to the high ups, talking to AT&T saying, "Listen, we need this. I got these cheeseburgers."
We gotta sell these goobers.
Gotta get these rubbers. You see that pack of
And listen,
gummies over
everybody
there?
I got in the warehouse.
You see them gummies? Them gummies are about to expire, and they
Nah,
gummies.
see, you trying to make a joke that has nothing to do with the joke I just made because you're too young to know what that is, jokes. I'll fill you in
Of
later.
course.
I can't get into where that comes from. There's some people who know. Tony, I know you know. Ty, I know you know. Right now, AMC like, we got these cheeseburgers.
They try with that. Look, I suck, yo. The same. They trying everything out there.
AMC don't have no money.
Oh,
So-
I think.
What kind of deal are you talking to them about when they're already doing everything they can to not hemorrhage money with what Warner Brothers is already doing?
Mm-hmm.
And if HBO Max currently is your only out, is what is viewed as the way for you to save what it is that you have going on with the money you spent on Warner Brothers, there's no world where it doesn't make more sense to be like, oh yeah, by the way, Wonder Woman 84 is hitting HBO Max on Christmas Day.
Yep. If they gonna say that with their head tilted, it's like, yeah, HBO Max.
I don't think
Christmas
they
Day.
I would love to see it. I doubt they do it.
That Disney Plus is a Christmas present. There's still a lot of people who don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
Kids be able to get up on that morning and have this subscription and just dive in and start watching stuff like Soul and Mulan
Right
and
off the break.
whatever else is there. HBO Max ain't no Christmas present. Disney Plus is. You want to fight that fight? You might need to get out Hanukkah, Wonder Woman 84. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to do something. And dropping it in the theater is not the way.
It's not the way.
That is not the
You
way.
gotta figure it. It's gotta go digital. Put that premium price tag on it. Let
It's
people
not
buy
coming
it
out.
and
They
consume it.
push that thing back to next year. It's not coming out.
No.
You think they'll just postpone? I mean, listen, I hear you. I think they're stubborn, and they might try to do the same thing that Disney's trying to do by postponing it.
Yeah,
think they still will.
agree with it. I agree with Dean. Yeah, they'll push it back to like late spring. I say spring, summer. They're gonna try to push it out to. Knowing Wonder Woman, the way they keep just moving the date, they'll probably aim for early spring with the next time and see how the landscape feels, and then
Yeah.
push it back again.
At
Like,
the same
yeah,
time, just trying to avoid everything else in the meantime, making sure, you know what, it's out of the way of Black Widow. If I remember, I think they moved Bond into April, so probably trying to move around that, not trying to drop it then. So
I mean, I feel like they do want to try to go head to head with Black Widow. I mean, it's in terms of what the significance of the films are,
mhm.
I see it. I still feel like Wonder Woman 84 is not going to be that good of a movie. But they're banking on it. But you still have to have enough money to be able to afford to hold on to it for that long. And while Disney is like, yeah, we're laying people off because the parks aren't doing well, there's still a significant amount of cash that they have available to them to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
To say, look, we're gonna hold tight. And in the meantime, we actually already have stuff on the books in terms of like stuff that's coming to Disney Plus. So subscribe to us here. Pay us here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that they can make money to continue to add to the pot. HBO Max is doing okay, but their subscriber base isn't as high as what Disney's is. And so they have to do things to push up their subscriber base because they can't make money off of what they did have, which is putting movies in the theater. And AT&T has been looking to get rid of that. So because AT&T has pulled Warner Brother Games off of the sale list, clearly they must have a plan for that somewhere. But chances are somebody's going to buy that from them, and they're going to sell it. Their only other real option is to start finding other studios, other people to license out their properties to in order to continue to keep themselves afloat and get that money sooner than later. Most of those deals are the kind of deals that you can't make go through right away.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the kind of deals that require the FCC to be involved. And you know what I mean? Like, it's not like you can just be like, all right, well, we're going to sell this to you, and tomorrow we're going to check. Not quite how it works. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean they won't do a deal with Disney or Amazon or anybody else to say, look, y'all got control of Superman now. Y'all do Batman. Something. Y'all got Wonder Woman, and y'all have Justice League. You know what I mean? Like, you could still see that same kind of a thing that happened to Marvel 2 decades ago happen now to DC, because that's the best way for AT&T to leverage the money, to leverage the properties to get paid for them. And then, you know, obviously still have a clause that says we get to put out Wonder Woman, or we get some level of involvement. You know what I mean, in what it is that you produce or what you do. But everybody knows that they strapped. So it's much harder to come to the negotiating table unless everybody, for some reason, really wants to get their hands on that property.
Right.
And the only property out of those that really is super lucrative is Batman. Nobody else, nothing else they have is anywhere near as lucrative as Batman is.
They're making a cartoon for preschoolers just off the vehicle. So
exactly. But you're not, you know what I mean? Like, Wonder Woman doesn't have that anymore. Right. She doesn't have that kind of power. Superman doesn't have that anymore. He could have, but
I think that ship.
I think that got ruined. I think that got ruined with Man of Steel because they went too dark. So they would have to put a lot of money into making him more friendly to children and whatever again before you could really leverage that and put money into it. So it's tricky, man. I'm not sure. What do you mean Disney Plus has no good original content? All their content is original. It's all their stuff.
I think he might mean like new stuff.
I mean, Marvel is under Disney, so
all that. But none of those shows are out yet on it.
But they coming. But here's the other thing, though. Disney Plus.
Yeah, you know they're coming.
Yeah, you know they're coming. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like me, if you were like me, you just paid for Disney Plus 3 years for 3 years. So they still got that money on the docket, depending on how many of those people did. Like I was all in for Disney Plus. It was like, the MCU stuff was there, but then when you tell me I have the whole back catalog of all the Disney animated movies that have been coming out since like the beginning of Disney, it's like it's all theirs.
Yeah, I mean, HBO Max is not killing it with content. I mean, HBO has content, but they're not killing it with. You gotta understand.
They need that killer show. Like that everybody's talking about.
Well, I mean, look, there's Lovecraft Country, right? Which a lot of people are talking about. Here's the difference. You can't sell Lovecraft Country to 5-year-olds and turn them into toys members for life. No. That is the thing that Disney does better than almost everybody else does. That's just what it is. Any company that has a consumer base is looking to get you in and hold you for as long as they possibly can. So they're looking to get you as young as possible. That is why you are seeing something like a Batman show going to HBO Max that is for preschoolers. We trying to get you and keep you. And hopefully the content that we have for your parents, because we don't have the same nostalgia piece that Disney has, but hopefully the content that we have for your parents, when you buy HBO Max, when you decide you're going to subscribe to get that content for your preschooler, you'll keep it because there's other stuff for you. Disney has that in spades, period. Better than anybody else does. When you listen, you go to a Best Buy, they try to get you to sign up for like the Best Buy like membership, not the credit card, the membership. Minimum age for that membership is 13. 13. There's a reason for that. It is because they want to turn you into a Best Buy consumer for life. They want you from the time you are a teenager. It ain't 18. Here you can sign and sign. No, right. It's 13. Come sign up. Stay with us. We want to start getting you points now. We want to have you in here and want you to come back to us as you decide to buy games and as your tastes grow. And when you get your own apartment, buy your TV from us and buy your refrigerator from us. And buy, like, we want to get you as young as possible and hold on to you for as long as possible. And we need to do it now so that the competition doesn't get you. Even when they have something that seems like it's just as good or might be as cool or maybe even seems a little bit better. Yeah, but you got all these points already wrapped up with us. You're in our ecosystem. That's what they're trying to do. If you're not in Disney's ecosystem, I don't know what you did with your life, but I guarantee in some way, shape, or form, you're already in that ecosystem. So they have that in spades. And that's not a thing. Listen, when HBO Max starts putting real sex up as one of the joints they got, they gonna get a lot of old people. But they not getting kids.
Taxi Cab Confessions. I'm just saying. You're right. It's not getting the kids in. But maybe this whole Batman thing shows that that's what they are attempting to do, like going after kids. Yeah, HBO is definitely more known for adults.
Again, let's not get twisted. They bought Sesame Street. Like they own the rights to Sesame Street. And we talked about that when we talked about them having preschool. Like there is, it just is a smart move. And again, we talked about this before. Data is the most lucrative thing there is. If I can get your data from the time you're 3, I'm in there. If you have signed up and you have kids that are watching content, I know more things about you than you have any idea I know because it's tied to your email address. That data is worth so much money. And the earlier I can start collecting data on you, the more information I have as AI continues to be a thing and, you know, neuro thinking and all that or whatever. And think about the acquisition, not the acquisition, but the deal that Microsoft did with GameStop last week. We talked about on cutscenes. And started talking about having your transaction history in their hands as they walk around on the floor so that they can make suggestions for you based on your purchases that already exist. Isn't that what YouTube already does when you go to watch YouTube because it's tied to your account and it sees everything you watch?
Everything you do.
Isn't it what Netflix does?
Netflix does it too, yeah.
You should watch this.
Make
Isn't
those
it what
recommendations.
everybody is looking to take that information and use that information? And so when you are in a position to sell that information, even if you still own it, if you're able to get somebody to pay you to share information you have with them. So if AT&T went to Netflix and said, look, well, let's get a little piece of that information you have, it would absolutely be worth it for Netflix to sell it to them. Period. Because they'll make so much money doing it. It's not Amazon doesn't care that the reason why they give you so much that they quote unquote give you for free is because they make so much money on the data they have about the purchases you make. The addresses that you ship to. I know how many people buy stuff on Amazon and have that stuff shipped to their job instead of their house. Amazon know where you work, dog. It's tied to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that data, that information, that's where it is. We want to get you as kids and hold on to you for as long as we can. Period. Disney does it better than anybody else does.
Hey, y'all ever go look at the recommendations that they make for you? Be like, what? Y'all bucket.
Yeah, and that happens a couple times. Most of the time, they'll be like, oh yeah, I guess since I should go ahead and watch this. But no, there'll be a few of them in there be like, I don't know.
But do you ever click on it?
Yeah.
Because maybe it's right. Maybe it's a director you're not thinking about. You know what I mean? You don't know who directed it. You know what I mean? Maybe it's an actor that's in there somewhere you're not thinking about, or, you know, whatever. Who knows? You know what I mean? That's just messed up. It used to piss me off when I would come home and my kids had watched stuff on my Netflix account.
Oh, and you getting off.
It was just littered with like Barbie shit. Bruh, you don't get this shit out my timeline.
Here goes Barbie Magical Queen. We highly recommend this for you.
Could have it was before everybody could have their own individual,
Right.
You know what I mean, accounts on the same account. Y'all get this mess out of here, dog. Y'all messing up my daughter told me the other day, because she has a Hulu account and I don't have Hulu. She was like, I couldn't let you use it. You're gonna mess up my recommendations. What?
Yeah.
Wait, you're the one who put her onto the stuff that she watches. Yep. But you're gonna mess up her recommendations?
Yeah, but I actually have my Hulu back on next month.
I feel the disrespect for you, brother.
Think about how important your own data is to you that you don't even realize until somebody tries to mess it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a real thing. Hey, look, I'm gonna give you another example. The other day, somebody messaged me, somebody from my job sent me a message and asked me if I had the phone number to somebody else that worked in my job, because that person was at home and ordered food from Uber Eats, and they delivered it to the job instead of to their house. Twice, Slim. Twice.
Wait.
She's sitting at home hungry.
Hey, you want this food? You want this food? You got this food delivered to the store right quick. If you don't want this, I'm gonna eat this right quick.
Yeah.
I don't want it to go bad.
And here's the thing that's funny about it. I talked to her about it, and it turned out that she did put in the right address. But you know how when you order something like that, you can specifically put, like, in the notes, like if you have special instructions.
Oh.
You had the same special instructions in it that said, deliver to the back door of the, you know what I'm saying? That's what they did. They just followed the special instructions that was in there.
Hey, they read. That's I'm actually impressed, because some of them don't read those notes at
exactly.
all.
Exactly. And when I said that to her, I was like, you probably left special instructions in there. She was like, looked it up.
Right.
Sure enough. Same special instructions, because they don't change the special instructions when you change your address. How data works.
Crazy.
They want you early, bro. they want you early. Listen, I'm giving AMC till June. By Sin's birthday, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, they got it or it's over. Like, they're gonna have to let our powers combine.
It's something.
Regal, AMC, all gonna be gone.
Crown Regal AMC.
Yeah, something. Amazon.
No.
You know, something's got to give, man. I'm not giving them a whole lot of time.
They said they'll be out of money by the end of the year. Yeah.
See, look, Per said he got a recommendation of something called To the Lake, a Russian series, but it was phenomenal.
Yeah. Something, they knew something. This, like, we're pretty sure you're going to like this.
If I would have popped them on my joint, I'd have been like, I'm watching this. You know what I'm saying? But the other thing about it is you got to understand that those recommendations are designed to just keep you in their joint. Because for me, it's easy to just be like, all right, I'm doing Netflix. I'm going to watch Amazon Prime now, or I'm going to watch HBO Max now. I'm going to watch whatever. As they make those recommendations, like, oh, this does look good. I'm going to stay on this. You know what I mean? You don't go into and they don't care. You still paying them. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, still paying them. Look, we can wrap this up. I want to just make sure everybody knows we will be doing cutscenes live, talking video games and everything on Thursday evening at 8 o'clock. So y'all keep your eyes open for that. If you can get back in here and jump in the chat, by all means, please do that. We enjoy having y'all every time. Sin, you have a job to do. I'm going to let you go ahead and jump in and do that. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, go for it.
I'm ready. So shout out to our top tier patrons, beginning with Anthony Cunningham. Shout out to Susan Dortch and shout out to Tyrone Carson. We appreciate it very, very much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Super appreciate y'all. Hey, Ty, man, we need to jump on and do some gaming, man. So, like, hit us up shortly or whatever. Let's get on Xbox Live and do a little something. It's been a little too long. We need to do that.
Big fan.
Joe doesn't play games anymore. We don't know what happened to him.
Yeah. I think he's back in the Pokemon cards now or something he's doing.
Did you get new Pokemon cards today?
Nah, you talking about the Jones that I found that I had posted earlier?
Oh, okay.
No.
I found him.
Going through some old stuff, and actually, I found the binder that had the old Team Rocket set in it. I still have not found the one that had the OG set in it, but apparently I'm in
I told you he was lying about that.
Nah, I'm going in the right direction, so I'm gonna keep going through some old boxes until I find that OG set. Cause like I found my Dark Charizards in the Team Rocket set, so. They're not first editions, but you can't get them anymore. So, hey, I'm going to take what I can get so far.
Look them up. Are they worth anything? Did you look them up?
The Dark Charizards, if you have a mint condition first edition one, they're about $300. Mine's isn't first, so mine's is hovering around that $70 and $80 range. It's still not bad for, I got 2 of them, so, hey, that's not a bad little pocket, but I got a whole bunch more that I got to go through. I even found the old... when the first movie came out, they had released a special Ancient Mew card during the theater. I actually found that. So that one I got to look up because the only way to get that was if you went to actually see the original movie when they showed it in the theaters.
Oh, you
Ty, stop swelling.
Hey, listen. Pseudo Ty. Jokes do it all the time. Listen, Jokes, I'm glad you found your little Pokemon cards, man. I hope that they are, yeah, our eyes, they glaze over. Once you start talking about Pokemon, I don't know what you're talking about. I just say Dark Charizard, and I was like, yeah.
Like, I get, like,
you know what a Charizard is, at least. That's all you need to know.
I do know. I don't know about a dark one. Yeah, but okay.
Yeah, I know who Charizard is. That's a little dragon guy. Little orange dragon guy.
Yeah.
Little flame, the permanent flame sticking out of his mouth.
Yeah. And
walks around calling Charizard. Like,
Charizard.
Hey. Charizard. I don't know, man. Listen, I'm glad you have a thing and that you enjoy that thing. I ain't mad at you. Oh, you trying to jump on some squadrons?
He said he's some trash. He needs some backup.
What's up with garbage too? Let's get in there.
Stop it.
Hey, get some practice.
Yeah, we can do that. Look, y'all know what the deal is. Make sure you follow us across all social media. We are still on that push to 10,000 on Instagram. Y'all keep your eyes open, man. We got a lot of stuff scheduled out, memes and things like that. We're asking for questions and feedback across Instagram and Facebook and on Twitter. We don't get a lot of action on Twitter, but we're pushing a little more. But again, Instagram right now is the big focus for us. So y'all get in there, and if you see us post something, feel free to jump in and answer those questions, start those conversations, because we're interested in knowing which batsuit you think is the best batsuit, and those kinds of things. So keep your eyes open. They're coming like every Monday, wrestling stuff on Wednesday, snack stuff on Fridays, throwback Thursdays on Thursdays. Like, got some things popping. So y'all look out for that. And again, if you're not already, a Patreon member, you know how to do it. Patreon.com/loading snacks. You can jump in and support us there. We appreciate the help. We have this weekend, we actually have a live show we're doing. Some of us are doing. We will be at the Power Plant Live in Baltimore for what is now Safe Apocalypse. It was originally Nerd Apocalypse. We've had to do some things to make some changes, but Transcendent Defense and our good friend Kevin Hop have worked really hard with the Power Plant to find a way for us to do something and do it safely. And so many people have just been, chomping at the bit to be able to get out and do something. We have a couple of things that we're doing there that we think are going to be very interesting. We'll talk to you about them after it's done. We don't want to spoil anything. There's a morning session from 12 to 4 and an evening session from 5 to 9. The evening session is sold out, but there's still seats available for the first session. We are doing 2 separate things at each session. So, look on Facebook. You can find Safe Apocalypse. You can still buy tickets if you're interested in doing that. If you're in the DMV area, it's something to do. It originally is a bar crawl that gets a little crazy and out of hand. We got to cut it down a little bit, try to keep people safe and have people wearing masks and all that kind of stuff. But still looks like it's going to be a really good time. So we'll be having an outing soon, and I'm kind of excited. So you guys keep your eyes peeled for some of that. No, what was the winner of your wife's Batman poll on the site? Who was the winner? Feel free. Thank you, Eric, for pushing us over on Nerdside. Y'all make sure y'all check out Nerdside. Follow Nerdside on Facebook. That's definitely a thing. J. Robert Dean's on Patreon. Please make sure that you're following him. I'm sure you guys hear us talk about him all the time. You see him in the chat. Please make sure that you go over and you support him and what he's doing. J. Roberts, give me that winner. OVC. West versus Conroy. West
won it all.
I mean, what? Adam West, not a better Batman than Conroy.
Yeah,
However, Adam West on Family Guy.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
Mayor Adam West.
No doubt. Listen, with that, we're gonna wrap this up. We have a couple more snack bites coming. And Dose, did you finish wrapping up that Scorpion snack bite for us so we can get that posted?
Need to do that. Yeah, need to do that.
That's why y'all haven't seen it yet. My man's slacking over there.
Yeah,
looking at Pokemon cards.
Just a little bit.
Looking at Pokemon cards. Look, we're gonna get up out of here. We appreciate you all. With that, we're out. Doodles and Lubes. What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.